If you're excited to go on NCL's Pride of America and its brand new, freshly dry docked renovation, but you're not sure what specialty dining and regular dining looks like, boy, have we got a surprise for you. We're gonna go over every single dining option on board the ship and close it out with a recommendation of the top 5. So grab a seat. Let's talk about all the great dining options that you have on this very special ship, which has just seen a massive renovation and was honestly a very pleasant surprise. Let's dig into it. NCL's Pride of America is sailing away from the beautiful island of Kauai on this sunset night with the clouds and the beautiful island. We are headed back to end our cruise. And so we thought we'd give you an overview of all the dining options available to you on the only US flag cruise ship, Pride of America. So let's go ahead and start at deck 12. On deck 12, there is actually a secret eating spot. On deck 12, there is a bar called the Key West Bar and Grill. You have your items here available for drinks during the daytime, but there is also an area at Key West Bar and Grill that hosts some small eats and treats, that kind of thing. It's like a micro buffet. Here's some video I took earlier from Key West Bar and Grill for you to check out. I actually didn't know this was here until my 5th day on the cruise, so don't make the same mistake I did. You've got French fries, some quiche, burgers, all sort of, so you don't have to necessarily go back to the buffet, some snacks, some cookies, and then of course the bar. And this bar on the back by deck 12 is the Key West. That's where they have both the bar and the grill, and excellent service. As you can see right now, if you sat down on Key West on this particular day in port, you're not gonna have to wait very long to get a drink, and there's plenty of space available to grab that drink, to have a snack, sit down and relax. Let's go ahead and go down to the most popular area of the ship for dining, which is Aloha. As we go down to the pool area, this is how you're gonna access one of the most popular areas of the entire cruise ship, which is the buffet. Before we get to the buffet, the Aloha Cafe, I wanna point out that there is Dolce Gelato, which we ended up frequenting a couple of times. Dolce has some sweet treats that you can get, literally gelato, obviously, but snow cones. And then they have macaroons, all sorts of small things. Most of the items, actually, all of the items here are upcharge items, but we stopped here a few times and service was amazing. Thanks, we'll see you back. Now, here we are, Aloha Cafe. Are you ready? Aloha Cafe, indeed. Aloha Cafe is the buffet on NCL's Pride of America. And believe it or not, the seating area is considerably larger than the eating area, if that makes sense. I did an in-depth review of the NCL Aloha Cafe where we went station by station, but I wanted to show you just how much space you have available to you to grab a seat, eat a treat, and get a quick bite. We'll do a quick walkthrough right now of the buffet area as we're approaching the dinner hour. There are 7 total stations in the Pride of America Aloha Cafe, along with a drink station for you to grab those items during most times of the day, although the buffet does close. You'll see here, I've said this before, NCL does a great job with the Pride of America in terms of keeping the space clean. It's been clean, neat, and the food has been very high quality for a buffet. I've had no issues with the quality of the food on the buffet, even though our family does not frequent the buffet as much. Our 13-year-old probably spent 25% of his cruise at the buffet. Like I said, there are 7 individual stations, as well as a juice, coffee, and water bar area. And of course, everybody loves the treats. Always some sweet treats in the buffet for you to grab and enjoy. Ton of space, a ton of room. I didn't see any problem at the buffet with people being able to grab seats, but in case you run out of seating in the buffet, you can hop right over here to the Gold Rush Saloon. The Gold Rush Saloon is a sort of spoilover area for you to be able to have extra seating from the buffet. And if I'm being honest with you, if you like a little bit more of a quiet space to eat at the buffet, head on to the Gold Rush because it's kind of like a quiet secret area. That's deck 11. That's the Aloha Cafe. Let's go on to our next stop. Now, we're not done on deck 11. We need to go check out some additional items that are actually kind of hard if you didn't know about them. There's 2 specialty dinings on deck 11 that we've got to show you. So let's go check out La Cucina and Moderno. Let's head on out. And still on deck 11, behind the Aloha Cafe, is La Cucina, a specialty dining restaurant, one of my favorites. La Cucina is literally the best value, in my opinion, for specialty dining. Let me show you why really quickly. First of all, La Cucina is a beautiful space. elegant, refresh, modern, fine Italian dining at sea. As you can see on Pride of America, the space is beautiful. We're going to be quiet so as not to interrupt anyone right now. We ate here once on the cruise tonight. There was so much food. It was amazing. Here's some shots that I took while no one was in La Cucina. Let's let these folks back to their dinner. It's truly a great value. At $40 per person, you can have an appetizer, a pizza, a main course, and a dessert. And I bet you, if you're really nice, you could probably get 2 appetizers. It is the daytime and La Cucina is not necessarily open right now, but we were here last night and had a wonderful dining experience. As you can see, La Cucina is a very fresh, clean, very open air concept. It feels very new. If I were in Las Vegas, where I live, I would think that this is a new, fresh Italian restaurant. It does not nearly look like an Italian restaurant in an almost 30-year-old cruise ship. It looks fresh, new, elegant. The portions at La Cucina are insane. So if you're looking for the best bang for your buck in terms of specialty dining, if you want the most value, in my opinion, the most value in specialty dining is going to happen right here for you at La Cucina. So come to La Cucina. At the time of our sailing, it was $40 per person. And honestly, the best deal on the ship. That's not all that's on Deck 11. So let's go ahead and go to our next stop. Or the aft of the cruise ship, Pride of America, grabbing a seat in the Aloha Cafe. But that's actually not why I'm here. I'm here because there's one more specialty dining on Deck 11, right in the back of Deck 11 behind Aloha. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you might miss it. And that's Moderno. So let's check out Moderno. Moderno is a churrascaria, or Brazilian steakhouse. And you'll see that plenty of people lined up for this last day of the cruise. They have a nice selection here, an area which I'd call like a small upscale buffet where you can get small things like sushi, salad, all that sort of items. But if you look around, a churrascaria, they will take well-prepared, very high-quality meats to your table, and they will carve them at your request. Moderno is a really special place. Not a lot of people know about it, and I think people are scared to try a Brazilian steakhouse if you've never tried it before. But treat yourself to some quality food at Moderno if you get a chance. It's way back on Deck 11. You miss it if you aren't looking for it, but it's here. It's upscale, it's new, it's refreshed, and modern, and it's called Moderno. On Deck 6, and we're doing Deck 6 now, is your main dining. This is where you would go if you didn't do specialty dining or the buffet. You wanted to have a nice, formal sit-down meal with friends and family. You're going to go to Liberty. Liberty is the theme of Liberty, if I was watching it the first time, it feels really tacky if you watch it on a video, and it probably seems tacky as well. Downstairs, you'll see Skyline that we'll talk about in a little bit, but Liberty is the main dining hall on the upstairs, Deck 6. So you have Skyline on 5 and Liberty on 6. Liberty is going to be the same menu as Skyline. It's just in a different place and has a slightly different decor. On most nights that we were in Liberty, the service was actually better, and there were less people in Liberty while we were there. So we'll do a quick spin around. I've got more spin around video when Liberty is open and empty, but this is a great option for you to check out regular main dining when you get a chance. So Liberty's on Deck 6, Skyline is Deck 5. It's main dining, it's included in your package, and it's really great service. Okay, so we talked about Liberty on Deck 6. Now we're going to go downstairs to Deck 5. Right below Liberty is Skyline. Skyline and Liberty are essentially the same main dining experience. They're vast, open air, included dining in your package. Same menu as Liberty. It's on Deck 5, and it's a massive space that's included in your package. Big open air space. It's got a very New York theme to it. Lots of fun, elegant, upscale, and better than most included dining that I've experienced on most cruise ships. Skyline is on Deck 5. Liberty is on Deck 6. They're both the same experience. It's both great food, and it doesn't necessarily require a reservation. Okay, and right around the corner from Skyline, you're going to have your first specialty dining restaurant on Deck 5, which is La Bistro. But on NCL's Pride of America, it's actually not La Bistro, it's Jefferson's Bistro. It's styled in the same sort of format as a La Bistro, but classically styled to fit the theme of Pride of America as Jefferson's Bistro. It is a specialty dining restaurant, which is an upcharge or included on your package depending on how you booked it. Here's some footage we took in the earlier part of the day when no one was in Jefferson's Bistro, so you can see the actual space. We ate here once on the ship. The food was truly top-notch. We always try to hit up Le Bistro and Cagney's on Pride of America, and Le Bistro, or Jefferson's Bistro as it's called on Pride of America, was an absolute smashing success. If you're looking at specialty dining, my top 2 recommendations are Cagney's, which we're going to tonight, and Jefferson's Bistro or Le Bistro on another ship. But let's go back up.
Jefferson's Bistro is designed to look like Thomas Jefferson's library in Monticello, so it's a very unique dining experience that you will not get on any other ship. However, depending on who you ask, it is technically the same and or similar menu as Le Bistro. In fact, our menu on the ship literally said Le Bistro. Nonetheless, you're not going to have that kind of dining experience on any other ship. So if there's one you want to grab on this one, I recommend Jefferson's.
Okay, and this isn't necessarily a dining option per se, but most NCL ships, in fact, everyone that I know of, has a contract with Starbucks where they have a Starbucks on the ship. So if you don't purchase a Starbucks package, which on our ship was about $17 a day, you can purchase items a la carte at a Starbucks. You can use your Starbucks card, or you can charge it to your onboard account. So if you want to have if you've got that craving for Starbucks, just hop on over. I will say, of the Starbucks I have seen on NCL cruises, this group has really got their stuff down. They really are on point. So if you need that Starbucks fix and you're on a cruise ship, you got it right here. While we're close to Starbucks, directly across from Starbucks is our next specialty dining, which is going to be East meets West. So let's check it out. In the open area of Deck 5, right by guest services, and across from shore excursions, you're gonna have East meets West. So here we go. East meets West. It's actually 2 restaurants in one. Let's talk about it a little bit. First of all, I love the styling of this restaurant. It kind of reminds me of like a Tao experience in Las Vegas. It's themed in a very modern way. Check this out. You have your concierge space right here. And then you have, it's got very Tao vibes from Las Vegas. It's highly styled, highly modernized. It feels like the most modern restaurant on the ship. It's actually technically 3 restaurants in one. Let me explain why that is. So, East meets West. You're gonna have, way back there, a sushi bar, okay? Then you have a more classic Asian-themed fare. And in the very corner, in the back, in its own isolated area is teppanyaki. So if you're familiar with the teppanyaki experience, which I've got video of right here, this is actually in its own closed off space because teppanyaki is very loud. So they keep it quiet.
Quick reminder that teppanyaki is a separate restaurant inside East meets West, and it is also an upcharge restaurant. So it's in East meets West, but it is a completely separate restaurant and a separate upcharge.
Then you've got sushi. We love sushi on any cruise ship. NCL does sushi very well. So that's part of the East meets West experience. So you can order an appetizer, sushi, one of 6 sushi items, on the ship, and then your main course as well. Just want to oh, look, they actually have some right there. They have tonight's sushi fare. Looks super fresh, super tight. Good job. East meets West is a really unique dining experience on NCL's Pride of America. As you can see tonight, it's almost fully packed. So that tells me that they're probably doing a really good job of making sure that everyone has a great dining experience. So, as I was saying, for East meets West, you're gonna have an appetizer, then you can have sushi, and an entree. It's wild. It's a great value. I love these stairs, by the way. Sort of the atrium steps between 5 and 6. On deck 6, since we're still talking about it, is a really unique restaurant. If you've been on NCL, you're probably familiar with Oceans or The Local. But there's a restaurant that's like that, but styled completely differently, and that is Cadillac Diner. So Cadillac Diner is going to be the 24/7 eatery, again, like Oceans or The Local. It is themed like an American-style diner from the 50s, including the car tables, which is really, really fun. So if you're used to going to The Local or Oceans on a different cruise ship, right? open 24 hours. You've got that same experience here. You can eat here for breakfast or you can eat here at 2 in the morning. It's all available. It is that sort of like Americana sort of, I guess, bar food style, but it's styled really upscale in terms of the experience. It feels like you're eating in one of those old cafes and diners, and the food quality was top notch. So that's Cadillac Diner, on deck 6, 24 hours a day. One of the secret spots on Pride of America is actually Napa Wine Bar. It's one of the most underutilized spaces on the entire ship, but it's a great place to sit. And as you can see right now, on this last day of our cruise, at about 7 o'clock at night, there's almost nobody in Napa Wine Bar. The service is top notch, and you have a huge selection of high quality wines. That's not the reason we're in Napa Wine Bar, though. We're passing through Napa Wine Bar to get to my very favorite specialty dining restaurant in the entire Norwegian fleet, and it's no exception on Pride of America, and that is Cagney's Steakhouse. Cagney's is a specialty dining, upcharge restaurant on NCL's Pride of America. It's a classic American steakhouse, and NCL's version of Cagney's is really unique. It's very American steakhouse. So check it out. When you look at Cagney's, you're gonna see a classic American steakhouse, something that you might expect to experience in New York, or something you might find in old school Las Vegas. The white vests, the quality service, the high caliber, excellent all the way around. Understand, there are very few places I recommend in terms of specialty dining, but Cagney's is always my most recommended restaurant. So that is your overview of all the dining options on Norwegian's Pride of America. Norwegian's Pride of America just underwent a massive dry dock, and you can clearly see that all over the ship, but especially in the dining areas. I highly recommend the following. My number one preference is Cagney's Steakhouse, an amazing specialty dining experience, followed closely by Jefferson's Bistro, or what you might normally know as Le Bistro. My next favorite is also specialty dining, which is teppanyaki. It's a great, fun family experience. For main dining, Liberty is amazing. And for breakfast, also main dining, Skyline, exceptional. Really, I have not had a bad dining experience on NCL's Pride of America, and I think you might have the same experience as well. So if you're hesitating, if you're saying, I'm not sure if I want to pick Pride of America because I'm not sure what the dining experience might look like, let me tell you, from specialty dining to included dining, all the way to the buffet, we've had a consistently good experience that exceeded my expectations. I expected something like a 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 experience for Pride of America, specifically based on the age of the ship. However, the service quality, the staff, the team, and the food quality consistently outperforms our expectations. And I highly recommend you consider Pride of America for your next cruise. It's the only US flagged ship. It has a very unique itinerary, a largely US based staff, and food that honestly leaves a really positive impression. So those are all of your dining options on NCL's Pride of America. We have a ton of other videos from our voyage here, including our daily breakdown, as well as an overview of the entire ship. And of course, we bring these videos to you for free so that you can enjoy them and plan your travel specifically with cruising. Please do consider following the page. It helps us to grow, it helps us to create more content, and to be back with you soon. So this is our last day on Pride of America. Hopefully it might be the start of your very first.